I exposed my abusive parents, lost everything but freedom, and a court victory saved me and my siblings. What toxic family tradition did you break that cost you everything? So buckle up, because this is going to be messy. I guess I'll start by saying I come from a wildly dysfunctional family. For as long as my parents, especially Dad, are textbook narcissists. Growing up, they forced me and my two siblings to compete for their work to prove alike, some sick reality show where love was the grand prize. But if you showed weakness or empathy, you were exiled emotionally and sometimes physically. My brother spiraled into heroin addiction at 19, which was just another excuse for my parents to hate him and treat him like garbage instead of getting him help. The tradition was simple. No matter what toxic crack you were going through, you had to keep your head down, never complain, and most importantly, never trust anyone outside the family. They drilled into us that the minute you reached out for help or started, literally, they pulled every stunt, sabotaging jobs, spreading lies, turning neighbors against you. Think small town, but everybody fears and worships my family because of money and connections, so they get away with it. Fast forward to me hitting 22. After years of mental torture, emotional sabotage, and watching my brother overdose twice because Dad refused to get him into rehab, I had enough. I got into a real bad place myself, anxiety so bad I couldn't even leave my room. My tradition dictated I swallow it all, but I secretly started seeing a therapist and researching family dysfunction. That's when I broke the cardinal rule. I told my therapist everything about the abuse. Within weeks, the whole nightmare came crashing down. Somehow, the counselor pushed for a family intervention, but before that could happen, my parents retaliated. They cut my phone, canceled my bank cards, and convinced the landlord to evict me. They own half the properties in our town. They even reached out to my friends to paint me as a reckless liar, who was trying to destroy the family name. I was homeless, broke, and alone, but I clung to this tiny thread of freedom. The truth about my family. Since I had zero support around me, I turned to places most people wouldn't: halfway house, online recovery forums, and eventually a local nonprofit that helped abuse survivors. For the first time, I was free of their grip. Here's the satisfying bit. While I thought I lost everything, I used what I'd learned from the abuse and trauma to flip the narrative. I collected years of text messages, voice recordings, even some incriminating videos where my parents literally threatened me. Using all of this, I took them to court for emotional abuse and manipulation. In an unexpected twist, my brother, who had been at the bottom of this sinking ship, finally sobered up and became my biggest ally. He testified, sharing his own hellish experiences. It was ugly. There were threats, bribes, and blatant intimidation. But the judge ruled in my favor. My parents were stripped of their guardianship over me and my siblings, forced into mandatory counseling, and lost control of most of their assets. I used the money from the settlement to rent a little apartment, enroll in a college program, and started therapy full-time. My siblings slowly followed me out of the darkness, and we finally have the chance to rebuild, without fear or hatred poisoning every conversation. Breaking that toxic tradition cost me nearly everything I'd ever known, but I gained my life back. It wasn't glamorous or quick, but shutting the door on that nightmare was the best damn thing I ever did. And if they ever try to crawl back into my life, I'm ready. Not because I'm scared, but because I'm stronger now.